one word describes Amber. A smoke bomb. Smoke bomb. But I don't know. She was really fake.
Amber B is one of the fakest girls in this house.
The fakest of them all, Amber.
And now I know what the B stands for. Amber Backstabber.
Amber started this drama and Amber finished the drama. She started it with screaming and being aggressive outside of this house.
You in the game. I played the game and I'm happy I played the way I did.
And she finished it with crying and like victim. It's like just too much, Amber.
I felt like there was a lot of like manipulation through tears. She just plays the victim.
I apologize for the third time on this stage for telling you I wouldn't vote for you and I did. Like, I don't know what else you want from me. And I hope you see now how I played, that I did have your back, that I did have Bessie's back, that I did have...
Welcome to my video series where I discuss my favorite challenge players and go through their background, history, and their beginning on reality television, and of course their journey across multiple seasons on MTV's hit reality television series The Challenge. My last and first deep dive was about the extremely controversial Tori deal, and across the 3-part series I made, Tori went from being my favorite female player ever to, well, how do I say this? A villain. Throughout her 7 seasons appearing on the show, she was plagued with controversies, rumors of infidelity, and even accusations of cheating the game. Now, I still think Tori is a badass, but it seems like you either love her or you hate her. And I'm sorry to say, but there are a lot of people who just hate her. So much so that when she finally won her first season ever, it came off as kind of undeserved. And if not that, then it was definitely overshadowed by all the drama that always follows her. And I bring all of this up to explain how excited I am to talk about a player who I really adore. And I feel like their win was completely deserved. And that player is, of course, Amber B. Moreover, the drama that Amber finds herself in is almost always undeserved. And unlike Tori Deal, who seems to be favored by her castmates and the production, and extremely disliked by fans, Amber is widely loved amongst viewers of the show and is bullied constantly by her other castmates. She can't finish a season without being called fake and untrustworthy, and it's not just on The Challenge. This goes way back, all the way back to 2014 when she had her first reality television appearance ever. Part 1. The Girl Next Door. Amber Nicole Borzotra
Amber Borzotra
was born on January 13, 1988 in Germany to financially stable and loving parents, Alan and Odina. Amber grew up with her 2 siblings in Knoxville, Tennessee. In interviews, Amber looks back at her childhood in a happy way. Her home was a loving one, and she often reminisces about going to church with her family every Sunday. As she grew up, her family continued to be a support system for her, and they encouraged her to follow her dreams. Overall, her upbringing seems to be healthy and wholesome. Can't relate. And I imagine it's this environment that shaped her into the woman that she is today. Confident, extremely nice, always willing to see the good in people, and loyal to a fault. All of these qualities would be extremely evident across her multiple appearances on reality television. But they are also the qualities that would be taken and weaponized against her by people who never seem to understand her. But more on that later.
I'm a believer in God and a higher spirit. And honestly, I grew up in church. I feel like I would say, as I've gotten older, I have more of like a spiritual connection, but a relationship also with God. It's made me, I feel like, understand how to be humble and a balance. It's made me, I come from love, and not meaning just my family, but the people that I'm surrounded with as I've, grown up. So that's all I know.
After completing high school, Amber would seek a private education, and she earned herself a degree as a medical esthetician, a career which she pursued for a while, but she always had bigger dreams, mainly of being a model and an actress. And just by looking at her, you can probably tell that she had a successful career as a model. I mean, she's stunning. She also landed herself multiple small roles in movies and shows such as The Bold and the Beautiful, a 2016 film in which she played a sea witch in a modern retelling of The Little Mermaid, and her most recent role was a supporting one in The Company of Strangers. And while her acting career unfortunately wouldn't take off, she continued to find success as a model and as a social media influencer. Her biggest claim to stardom came in the form of reality television, with her appearance on the extremely popular show Big Brother. I'm so sorry, there's a bird outside my window that likes to participate in every video I make, and I'm trying to work around him. but he's very hyper today. Her biggest claim to stardom came in the form of reality television with her appearance on the extremely popular show Big Brother, followed by her 4 seasons on MTV's The Challenge. And Amber's challenge career is really impressive. She is the first competitor with autism to compete on the series. She also came out strong as a rookie and won her debut season, which made her the first Big Brother player to ever win a challenge season. In order to get to that part, we have to talk about Amber's Big Brother appearance and one certain Cowboy. Part 2: The Stalker Cowboy. In 2014, Amber B would be cast to be a housemate in the 16th season of CBC's Big Brother.
I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm definitely a country girl. I'm very athletic.
Amber, I am from Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm a model.
Are you going to use your southern charm in the house?
If I have to. It's a game, so if I have to, I'll use it.
Do you have a strategy going into the house?
I think that this year I need to win.
That's a good strategy.
Now, if you're not familiar with the show, I'll explain it briefly. It's a reality competition in which 16 players, or as they are referred to as house guests, participate in daily and weekly challenges. The winner becomes head of household and holds the power to nominate other players for eviction. A vote is then cast and the player is evicted each week. Typically, this game is played in the form of alliances. Whoever controls the most votes controls the game. At its core, Big Brother is a social game. Unlike Amber's later show, The Challenge, which requires players to have both a strong social game as well as good athletic abilities, in Big Brother you just need people to like you. And from what I've said about Amber so far, you'd think she would have no problem with that. But boy, would you be wrong. I obviously had to rewatch this season of Big Brother for this video, and 2 things stood out for me when rewatching Amber's scenes. First, good God, is she beautiful. And second, she's just extremely nice, pleasant, and just overall a joy to watch. And it's a combination of her good looks and extreme niceness that would put her in a really messed up situation, which will eventually result in her eviction from the house in an extremely unfair and really annoying way. She begins the season strong, finding herself aligned with the majority of the house by being part of the Bomb Squad alliance, which is really ironic since this alliance will literally explode later on. Cody, fun fact, that's Paulie's brother, Christine, Devin, Frankie, Zach, Derek, Amber, and Caleb are all members of this alliance. Meet Caleb, aka Beast Mode Cowboy, aka Stealth Mode Cowboy, aka Romantic Cowboy.
And I consider myself to be a metrosexual country boy. On certain.
This guy right here would develop what I can only refer to as an unhealthy obsession with Amber. When I first watched this show years back, I didn't really get their connection, or well, lack of connection. But I did some digging for this video and I found some interesting things about Caleb that helped me understand where it all went wrong for him. CBC does interviews with the house guests before they enter the game. They also release sound bites to help the audience get to know them, since these people are often unknown regular people competing for $1 million prize. These are done in an effort to get the audience watching at home to connect with them and get to know their game strategy going into the game. And from reading and watching Caleb's interviews, I get the sense that he is on the wrong show.
Alright, I'm going into this house single because I may just find a showmance that I don't want to get out of. Fall in love on the show, and it gets in between me and some money. I mean, she's gonna be kicked to the curb.
When asked about what he expects to be the most difficult part in taking part of Big Brother, Caleb responds with, "The most difficult part is being watched at all times because everything I'm doing my family back home is watching." Which, yeah, honestly that makes sense. But listen to what he said next. "Also, throwing a sexy girl that likes me under the bus will be hard. But I'll do what I have to do, so kiss me, lay with me, have sex with me, tell me you love me, I'm still in it to win." And this is really funny to read, since he would find a sexy girl and he would in fact throw her under the bus. Except she wouldn't be into him at all. Amber won't kiss him, lay with him, or have sex with him, ew, which is exactly why he got her voted out. I'll go through his treatment of Amber in details, but for now let's just finish going through his pre-show interviews. He was asked to finish the sentence of, "My life motto is," and he responded with, "If you want something bad enough, do whatever you got to do to get it, no matter the consequences." And you might be thinking that he's talking about his game strategy here, but I can't help but feel like he's talking about his relentless pursuit of Amber B throughout the season. It's almost cruel and vindictive how he treated her, regardless of the consequences. And those consequences would eventually lead his sorry ass to getting voted out too. From the first episode, and actually from the first moment he lays eyes on Amber, he is instantly infatuated with her.
Lord is my shepherd, he knows exactly what I want. I've had a crush on Amber since the first day I walked through them Big Brother house doors. Like, she's the type of girl that I would want to wait until marriage. I was like, maybe God brought me here because of her. You see my girl this morning? Like, she never wants to be alone in the same area as me because she doesn't want everyone in here to think that we have something going on. There's Amber.
It started out kinda cute, like a harmless crush. And who can blame him? Again, she's drop dead gorgeous. The two become friends and they connect over their shared faith and strong family values. Caleb throughout this would start to refer to Amber as his girl and his queen, which obviously makes him the king, I guess, the king of delusion, since Amber is clearly not interested in him in that way. And that becomes extremely clear when he opens up to Amber about how he feels about her. And they proceed to have one of the most awkward conversations I've seen on TV for a long time.
Sounds cheesy, but
Why are you laughing?
I don't know, it's just funny. I see you really different than I see a lot of people. There's a certain way that you look at me throughout the day. Like, you look at me a lot. I look at you a lot. I don't know if am I wrong?
I don't know. I didn't know I looked at anybody. This is like news to me.
Is it news?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, do not feel the same, and I don't know if I ever will.
I don't know if I pushed her away. I don't know if I, made her day. I don't know what I did, but I'm not gonna give up.
Amber rejects him, but in a really nice way. She tries to let him down gently, and whether he misinterprets her being nice to him as her playing hard to get, or his delusions are completely taking over, it's hard to tell at this point. Either way, he isn't giving up.
Ask her. You just say, hey, do you plan on him letting him, take you outside of this house? And I want you to make her think that you're really not gonna tell me.
Okay.
And I want you to get in there and figure out what she thinks. Has anything changed the way you feel about, I know you're in the house, I know you don't want to showmance, I know you don't want that kind of stuff, but has anything changed on your thoughts about, him as a person? And, of course, you could remind her, he has literally done things that no one else would do.
He goes around the house telling everyone how much he likes her and how he would like to take her back home to meet his parents. And I kid you not, how she is the kind of girl that he would like to marry. All this is happening while he just met her, and he's constantly asking her on dates, and she keeps saying no. Keep in mind that this is like 5 episodes in. He barely knows her at all. And it's at this point that this whole thing starts to creep me out. But aside from it being extremely off-putting to watch, it also starts to mess with Amber's game. It's no secret that Caleb sees her as his number one, and the other house guests view them as a pair. And in a game ruled by numbers, having 2 votes is dangerous. All of this leads to Amber's own alliance turning on her. And when she is nominated for eviction, Caleb nominates himself in hopes of saving her, but not before he has a conversation with her, in which he makes sure that she knows that he's doing her a favor, and he's trying to protect her. And to that, Amber says, no thanks, don't do it, I'm good.
No, if Amber goes up, I'm gonna go up. Because I'll go in and I'll throw it. Hey, I'm beast mode, baby, I'm here to play, so got my queen on the block, Key's gonna come up and save it. Told him to put me up for Derek so I could throw her to keep you safe. It's risky. It's still risky to do it. I need you to tell me if you say, yes, I'm okay with you saving me, go up.
I don't want you to do that, though. Like, I'd rather, you not do that. Oh, this is crazy. My sister's probably, sitting at home, why? Seriously, Amber?
And at the same time, she's probably thinking, dude, if he does that, she needs to marry that guy.
So dumb.
But of course he still does it, and when she survives the vote, he flat out tries to guilt her and honestly just force her into going on a date with him. But she holds her ground, and good for her for doing so.
I told you I did not want you doing that,
I didn't ask Caleb to throw the comp for me. Matter of fact, I asked him not to. And I feel like now he thinks I owe him something or he expects something from me.
You could be my date to the finale. You could go ahead and say yes to that.
Nope.
No, do we need to go over how important this was? I think you're not understanding fully.
Oh, I'm understanding.
I don't think you are. If you're not my date to the finale, I'll be mad.
She remains extremely polite and patient with him. At this point, I would have gotten a restraining order, but Amber is a better person than me. Rewatching these episodes is just infuriating, I can't lie, especially knowing how this whole thing would end. But I forgot about the pickle incident, which was honestly just hilarious. Let me explain. Caleb is grossed out by pickles, and while everyone is eating them, Amber makes a joke that if he could eat one, she would finally go on a date with him. Everyone laughs and the whole thing is forgotten about. But not for long, as Caleb summons Amber in front of the whole house while he eats a pickle, and then he proceeds to ask her, "So, when is our date?" Instead of calling him delusional, Amber agrees. I mean, he literally puts her on the spot in front of all of the other housemates. She explained that it's basically them having a one-on-one time in the Big Brother house, and she rather agrees than make a whole issue out of it. And the two go on the most awkward and uncomfortable date you can imagine.
Once a week, I want to have a sit-down conversation with you and learn something new about you that I don't want no one else here to know.
I don't know. Or?
I think your parents would probably love me just because of who I am.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Hey, over here.
This is my first and last date with Caleb. You know, I'm not interested. Was that harsh?
She continues to be not interested, but still nice, while he continues to be desperate for her attention. At this point, I found myself being really annoyed at Amber's extreme niceness. I wish that she would just get angry or confront him. God knows she had every right to. His actions were bordering on harassment, and she is a far better person than me for not losing her shit on him and just putting him in his place. Amber at this point is completely checked out, and she wants nothing to do with Caleb. She forms connections with other players in the house, including Christine and Cody. Cody specifically, she seems to trust and like being around. The two even flirt sometimes. And obviously this drives Caleb crazy, because God forbid Amber would like anyone else other than him, even though she doesn't even like him.
And what do you figure? Home Skillet's got his hands on Amber once again. This just doesn't sit too well with Stealth Mode Cowboy.
I mean, I went on the block for her, I done all this stuff, and not one time have I heard thank you.
Amber's starting to, get a little bit too big for her britches in this house, and she's forgetting who is keeping her safe in this game.
She's trying to play me, and it ain't gonna work. It's not hurt my feelings at all.
She doesn't deserve you.
No. I've wasted my breath for 38 days. I'm not wasting it no more.
He ate a pickle for you.
Dude, I almost died.
And honestly, I can't explain just how much Amber is not interested in this man. Like watching the live feeds and the weekly episodes, you really get the sense that she can't stand him. That being said, his banana speech is kinda epic. You see, Amber hates bananas and loves pickles. So he comes up with a plan to wrap a pickle in a banana skin in order to make this deep metaphor for how Amber is just not seeing all the good qualities in him.
But if you open this banana up, it's beautiful on the inside.
Caleb.
There's no bruises on the inside. It's white and it's a regular banana. Just saying. You have to look at them like humans sometimes. Ugh.
Amber tries to distance herself from Caleb completely, and in turn she gets closer to Cody. And it's at this point that Caleb finally realizes that Amber is just not that into him. And as a result, he starts treating her even worse. He starts by telling everyone that she backstabbed him and used him to get ahead in the game. He complains that she is being ungrateful, even after he volunteered to go on the block for her, even though she literally asked him not to do so, and how she led him on this whole game. In short, Caleb makes her miserable, and he actively campaigns for her to be nominated for eviction. And he does this literally because she didn't want to go on a date with him. But his main goal is not to send her home. Instead, he is hoping to scare her into getting back with him, which is beyond delusional.
Quite frankly, her game is in my fingertips.
To make her think she's getting backdoored. Make her think it. Of course she's not going to. I think we should take this opportunity to scare the living daylights out of her, and then I already know, Caleb, I want to be here, you know what? And then I'm going to say, so now you're in need of safety, so you come to Beast Mode Cowboy.
I think it's time to give old girl a good scare and get her back in line.
I feel like Amber has made it clear that she would rather go home and lose the chance of winning $1 million than be with him, or even fake being with him. His behavior in the episodes leading to her eviction is just objectively horrible, controlling, and just cruel. The fact that a girl doesn't like you back is not a reason for you to come up with a master plan to literally enact revenge on her. The other housemates are on board with this plan. As I mentioned earlier, his connection to her is clear, and they would prefer it if she was out of this house. And Amber's situation is made even worse when she vents to Christine about her frustration with Caleb. She says something along the lines of, "Can anyone blame me for wanting Caleb out now after everything he's done to me?" And this gets turned and twisted into her actively targeting him. And of course it gets back to Caleb, and Amber's fate in this house is sealed.
I am elated because that is the piece of information that I can use to put the nail in Amber's coffin. If Caleb...
Everyone, and I mean everyone, including Caleb, Cody, and Christine, vote her out.
I gladly vote to evict Amber.
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 Amber!
Amber.
Amber.
Amber, my beautiful girl Amber.
And as she's leaving, Caleb says, "That's what happens when you bite the hand that feeds you." Which honestly, what an asshole. And this is how Amber's first reality television appearance would come to an end. An extremely stressful and even traumatic debut, which she handled with so much grace.
I'm sorry I was not interested in him, and I'm not gonna pretend to be to win some money.
She was never rude or even angry at Caleb, and even in post-show interviews, she didn't attack his character, even though there was a lot to attack. The most she would say about him is that he ruined her game, and he absolutely did. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Amber was asked why she didn't take the opportunity to essentially use Caleb's infatuation with her to further her game in the house. She responded with, "No, I was myself and I'm not going to pretend to lead someone on or act like I like someone when I don't in that way. And I think it's a game. Leading someone on is just so disrespectful and wrong. It's just me as a person, I couldn't do that. Even if it's a game and maybe it could have gotten me further along in the game, that's something I couldn't do." She also explained that she did feel betrayed by certain castmates, especially Cody and Christine. As the whole house turned on her, she felt like she could at least trust them. So naturally, she felt hurt when they didn't even give her a heads up about her being evicted. Nor did they even throw her a pity vote. But she also added that, quote, "I don't take anything personal. It's a game and I can't wait to see everyone when the game is over."
I mean, no hard feelings. It is what it is. It's a game.
And honestly, what a gem. Rewatching this season just made me realize how Amber was not made for the challenge. And I'm not talking about the competition part, but more the whole politics and backstabby part. Interestingly, this season marks the first time ever any of Amber's castmates would refer to her as fake. Something which would follow her into 3 seasons of her next reality television series, The Challenge.
I vote to evict the fakest of them all, Amber.
She was really fake.
She said, "Hey, you want me to make you a breakfast sandwich?"
Sure.
"Hey, Zach, do you want me to do your laundry?"
Amber is just generally nice and respectful to everyone around her. Take a look at this clip where Zach, another Big Brother player, would go on to belittle her and verbally attack her in front of all of the other house guests and the world basically, but she never stoops to his level. In fact, she doesn't even answer him.
Amber, you're sitting right where you belong and you're on your way out the door. I couldn't be happier. Beast Mode Cowboy has saved you twice already in this game. He risked $500,000 for you, more than all your boyfriends have spent on you combined. When you were both have-nots, not everyone gave you their blanket. He ate a pickle. A freaking pickle. Just so you would go on a date with him. Do you have anything to say for yourself? No? Huh, that's funny. Because that's exactly what you've been saying to him this entire summer.
I would have lost my cool and put him in his place, but I feel like this is a perfect instance where her quote-unquote niceness can be seen as real and genuine. It's easy to be nice to someone who is nice to you, but it's extremely hard to be nice and not attack someone who is obviously attacking you. And that's exactly why her being called fake is so annoying to me. She isn't perfect, sure, but she's definitely not fake. Now, before ending this chapter of the video, I just wanted to share this actual petition I found on change.org made by fans of the series to get Caleb disqualified from the series due to his treatment of Amber during the season. The author of this petition states, and I quote, "Caleb Reynolds should be disqualified on the grounds of personal, emotional, and physical intrusion on fellow BB16 house guest Amber," I can't say her last name. "He is clearly mentally unsound and has shown unhealthy signs of attachment to Amber. Removing him from the game would ensure that no further physical or mental harm would occur. Thank you." And I, alongside 377 people, honestly kinda agree. Especially when I dug a little bit more into Caleb's character. When I began this season, I actually really liked him. I found him to be funny and he was easy on the eyes. But as this one-sided affair began to develop with Amber, red flags slowly started to appear. And my problem with him isn't just with his treatment of women, but also with the ridiculous and alleged lies that he went on to tell in almost every episode of the show. He seems to spice things up or generally just make up stories to make himself look a certain kind of way. And I can imagine if I was Amber and he was saying all of these things, these unbelievable stories to me on the daily with a straight face, I would probably want to stay away from him too. The list of his stories is long, but here are some of my favorite ones. He's a professional dog groomer. He's a personal trainer with dozens of under-the-table clients. He's a dietitian and a nutritionist. He's a fully trained scuba diver. He's a professional juggler. He's a skilled gymnast who can do a one-handed cartwheel. He's also a professional horse whisperer. He was a professional bull rider in high school. He can roll a dollar bill so tightly that he can push it through a potato. He was offered a walk-on role in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where he would be paid more than $1 million to say one line in a scene with Johnny Depp. He broke both his legs/ankles when he was 4 years old, and the doctor said that he would be paralyzed for life. But a mysterious African man walked into the hospital without a visitor's pass while his parents were at McDonald's, and the African man grabbed Caleb by his ankles and left without a word, completely healing Caleb. I mean, okay. And finally, the one story which I find hardest to believe is he's never been bitten by a mosquito. Part 3, A Challenge Champion. On the 12th of November 2020, a relatively unknown Amber would make an announcement on her Twitter account. She would be joining the cast for the 36 seasons of MTV's extremely popular show, The Challenge. This season was known as Double Agents. Double Agents aired on December 9th, 2020 and would be a turning point in Amber's career. And it's in this series that she started to be known as Amber B. In the first episode, we meet a very excited Amber who's ready to begin a new journey in a new reality television series. And this excitement only grows when she is paired with a challenge legend, Darrell Taylor. Darrell has won 4 seasons at this point and has extensive experience on how this game works. So Amber being paired up with him meant that she was starting the game really strong. And her position in the game gets even stronger when she is approached by Casey to join the Big Brother Alliance, which is made of Casey, Josh, Fessy, and now Amber B. And of course, Amber agrees. Aside from the connection she feels as a rookie coming from Big Brother to these other players who also competed on Big Brother, Casey goes out of her way to make Amber feel welcomed into the alliance, which is really effed up considering how she's going to treat her in the next 2 seasons.
But I was a fan of you on your season, right? And I want you to know that I got your back. I really, we will make it so far.
Amber's bubbly personality and overall pleasant demeanor helps her make connections with the other rookie girls in the house, and she kinda finds herself being aligned with them as well. So now Amber is connected to the Big Brother Alliance as well as the Rookie Girl Alliance, which is made up of Amber M, Gabby, and Big T. Her connection to Big T is especially strong, and the two have some really adorable scenes together. At this point of the game, everything is going really well with Amber. She's on the right side of numbers, and her partnership with Darrell is amazing. They both seem to like each other, and moreover, it's obvious that Amber has a lot of respect for him, and she's very responsive and respectful of his experience. All of this translates into them performing well in the daily challenges, and although they never win one, they do manage to fly under the radar. Episode 7 is where everything starts to go bad for Amber B. She finds herself in a one-sided feud with Teresa, who's a vet partnered up with Jay, and the reason for this feud is really silly. Let me explain. Teresa approaches the rookie girls, including Amber B and Lolo, an Olympic player, to throw the daily challenge so Teresa and her partner Jay can win. She does this because they made a big move last week, and she is worried that Jay would be nominated and sent home as a result, especially since it's a guys' week. I don't know what possessed Teresa to think anyone would just let her win, and neither does Amber because she isn't really feeling calling it. In a shocking turn of events, she is also worried for her partner Durrell, who is looked at as a big threat in the house, which is why Amber is going to give it her all. Amber and Teresa go head to head and Amber B loses, but so does Teresa. Casey and her partner Leroy win the daily challenge, but Teresa's still somehow mad that she couldn't bully Amber into throwing a challenge. I mean, make this make sense, please?
Sometimes you have to win, and sometimes I understand you do. Yeah, I know. You know.
Super important for me to get a win. I have to keep my partner Jay safe.
I'm not here to throw challenges. I'm here to win them.
I feel like right now is going to protect myself and my partner.
She plays a nice girl. She plays like, oh, I'm so nice. I just want everybody to be at peace. Like, you're slick, but I'm slicker.
This results into a big fight in which Teresa is literally mad at Amber for not losing on purpose. In the process, she calls her fake and untrustworthy, which is really funny coming from the girl who is trying to orchestrate this whole thing for her benefit.
I said I wanted to win too.
Okay,
and I told you guys to run.
That's all you could have said to us, because I don't trust you, and this is exactly why.
This situation is followed by an even worse one. The whole house wants to vote in Amber M and her partner Mitchie. In my Tori Deal series, I go into details of the feud that was going on between Amber M and Tori during this season, which is why the whole house is against her and her partner. But anyways, they are the clear targets for the house, and Amber B is expected to vote with her Big Brother Alliance. But as I mentioned earlier, she is also kinda working with the Rookie Girls Alliance, an alliance which Amber M is very much a part of. So she finds herself in a sticky position. But since the Big Brother Alliance is hard set on voting them in, and actually the whole house wants them out, so she goes with the flow and votes for Amber M and her partner to go into elimination. But not before making a move which can be seen as shady and completely unnecessary. Instead of telling Amber M that she has to vote her in, she lies to her and asks Kyle, who is the winner of the daily challenge and can therefore see who everyone is voting for, to not expose her vote. Effectively, she wants to vote for Amber M, but still tell her that she didn't vote for her. Which is, I mean, why? The whole house was voting for her. She was gonna go down either way. So why not approach her and be like, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm loyal to my alliance. I like you and all, it's not personal, it's just a game move. But she doesn't. Instead, she goes on pretending to the Rookie Girls that she is still working with them. Mitchie and Amber would go down and Mitchie loses to Josh and is sent home. And because this is the challenge house, the whole thing gets exposed. And everyone now perceives Amber as sneaky and as a liar.
It's fake bitches, and I feel like you fall in that category. You looked me in my eye yesterday, and you told me you weren't gonna vote me in. You're over here like, I hope it's not you. I don't want to see two people I love going in, but you know you placed your vote on me.
She is literally manipulated every time. And now I know what the B stands for. Amber, backstabber.
I'm trying to be objective here, and honestly, yeah, that was a dumb move. And I don't mean voting Amber M in. That was the right move. The whole house wanted her gone, and if it wasn't gonna be Amber M, then it would have been probably Amber B. The rookies always going first. But the whole lying about it and being shady and going as far as telling her that you didn't vote for her afterwards is just too much. I don't know, it might have been because it was her first season in the game, and like she said on the show, she doesn't really like confrontations, but fair is fair, and that was shady. All of this obviously takes a toll on Amber, and she starts to struggle in the game. At the beginning of the season, she seemed genuinely excited and happy to be in the house. But at this point, she's struggling with all of the conflict that is happening around her. And her place in the game is rocky, especially since Gabby, Teresa, Kyle, Devin, and Amber M all seem to want her out. But thankfully, Durrell wins the next daily challenge for them both, and they earn $5,000 each, as well as safety and power. Despite me not liking the move that Amber made earlier, which again I can't help but see as lack of experience rather than being completely malicious, she redeems herself in my eyes almost instantly. She doesn't use her power to go after Gabby, instead she tries to make peace with her. And when Teresa is voted in, she opts to give Casey the chance to get her Red Skull. And in doing so, she makes the Big Brother Alliance and the Rookie Girl Alliance happy. And she doesn't burn any new bridges. I mean, Teresa already hated her, and honestly she had it coming. And she saved Gabby from elimination, while at the same time gave Casey and the Big Brother Alliance what they wanted. Casey goes in against Teresa and Casey wins, securing her place in the final. And I think this is exactly why I like Amber B. Unlike, say, Tori, who seems to dig herself deeper and deeper into drama each season, Amber B seems to actively want to make everyone happy. She's also fiercely loyal to everyone she works with. I mean, this whole mess started because she voted with her Big Brother alliance.
I have to stick solid to Big Brother. Like, I cannot turn my back on it.
Despite this, the house still sees Amber B as fake. And naturally, with everyone turning against her, Amber gets emotional and cries occasionally. But this also gets used against her. Instead of her being stressed out about playing this game for the first time and everyone wanting her out, it's perceived as her weaponizing her emotions and playing the victim in order to get what she wants.
And she's always trying to get some sort of sympathy or attention from someone. There's always something wrong. To me, that is just not the kind of person I want to be around. Hard to talk to Amber B about your feelings because she just plays the victim.
This really annoyed me. I can see why other players might see her as fake after the whole Amber M thing. But this personal attack on her character is beyond me. Take Josh for example, who everyone loves and stands by. He's an emotional mess, and every season he is losing his mind, getting into arguments and crying hysterically. But instead of everyone accusing him of fake crying, they comfort him and support him. Anyways, the next daily challenge is won by Gabby and her partner Devin, giving them all the power for that week. And Gabby proceeds to blindside Amber B and send her in for elimination. Keep in mind that when Amber B had the chance to throw in Gabby, she didn't. She opted instead to talk things out with her, and in her mind, things were resolved. And isn't this exactly why Gabby hates Amber so much? For being sneaky and shady, and isn't she doing the exact same thing now? My god, the hypocrisy of it all. Amber B goes in against Amber M, and the two Ambers face off in a hall brawl, which Amber B easily wins, securing her red skull and her place in the final. Amber's and Durrell's team up gets broken up when he is voted in to go in against Corey, and he sadly loses, making Amber B a free agent for the first time this season, and so close to the final. But with Casey and her partner Leroy winning the next daily challenge, Amber feels safe, as Casey's her friend and is working with her in the Big Brother alliance, an alliance which Amber B has been extremely loyal to. So imagine my surprise when Casey says that she doesn't owe Amber B anything, and she nominates her to go into elimination against her closest friend in the house, Big T. This is wrong on so many levels. Not only is she a part of their alliance, but she also basically handed in Casey's red skull and her subsequent place in the final on a silver platter. She let her go in against Teresa, who, let's be honest, there was no way Casey was going to lose to Teresa. But to forget all of that and then be mad when Amber is frustrated with you for basically backstabbing her is just beyond me.
I don't think I owe Amber B anything at this point of the game. We are towards the end, so that's how it goes.
I honestly cannot stand Casey. I know some of you guys might like her, but to me she's just two-faced, selfish, and just shady. Like, what do you mean you don't owe her anything? Oh, so now just because the final is coming, all bets are off. Isn't this why you all turned on Amber and called her a snake just 3 episodes ago? I doubt she would have the same mindset or attitude if it was Fessy or Josh on the line. The Big Brother Alliance and Casey specifically used Amber and then threw her out the first chance they got. And Fessy's reaction is just infuriating.
Just become very entitled in this game because she has been a part of Big Brother and we carried her a long way.
Like, just shut up, Fessy. Y'all asked her to be part of your alliance and she voted with you every single time. She could have dumped your stupid ass Big Brother alliance that never wins anything and joined the Rookie Girls alliance instead, but she didn't. And now because it's convenient for you, you're just gonna pretend like none of that happened? Does he and Casey not realize that we actually get to see all of this go down? Ugh, I cannot stand the Big Brother alliance. Anyways, Amber faces off against Big T in another hall brawl, which is really sad. Big T was the only one who had her back while everyone turned on her. And while Big T puts up a great fight, Amber B wins. And in my favorite move of the season, she picks Fessy as her new partner, and he absolutely hates it. And honestly, this was such a genius move to make. The Big Brother Alliance wants her out. So what does she do? She plants herself smack down in the middle of it. Whether they like it or not, she's in the Big Brother Alliance now.
I'm gonna pick Fessy right now. He's been saying my name, so this time if you have to say my name again, you're gonna hit that button with your face right next to it.
And if Fessy was a decent human being, this move would have been absolute gold. But Fessy isn't, and this kinda backfires on Amber. But don't you worry, she gets the last laugh at the end. Fessy absolutely hates this team up. He sees her as weak, and when she fails to perform up to his standards in the mini-final, he takes this as a reason to treat her horribly. Mind you, at this point she's the only girl who did 2 eliminations and won. But I guess that's not good enough to impress Fessy, who has only done 1 season prior to Double Agents. He takes her one performance as a sure sign that she will suck at the final. Meanwhile, Casey continues to be a snake and actually considers voting in her own partner Leroy for elimination, who's been her partner since episode 1 in order to save Fessy. But her and Fessy come up with an even sneakier plan to screw over not just Leroy but Amber too. Did I mention that I really hate the Big Brother Alliance? Casey votes in Fessy knowing damn well he's gonna win, and they agree that he should steal her as a partner. And in their mind, that means that they've already won the final. Might as well sign the checks now. Because who's stronger than Casey and Fessy? They have this in the bag. Fessy proceeds to make a whole ass speech before volunteering himself as the house votes. All of this because he doesn't want to run the final with Amber. Honestly, this whole thing is a joke, and Fessy is a joke.
I don't want Amber as a partner. I don't feel like she's a good player in the game, and I feel as if I won't be able to win with her as a partner. So I'm going to throw myself into elimination round so I can get rid of her and take Leroy's partner, Casey, who I've already had plans on doing the whole season.
Amber, of course, hates this, and honestly, it's not just her. Nany and Cam also feel annoyed about the way Fessy so openly talks about how much he is being held back by Amber and pretty much every other girl he has been partnered up with, including Anissa and Nany. It's just so annoying. And it's not even true. Out of Anissa and Nany, Amber has done the best so far. Again, she won 2 eliminations and she kept up with Doral all season. Her performance so far is nothing to laugh at, but I guess because she isn't Casey, then she isn't good enough. And I swear, if any of the girls say that Amber is crying here because she's trying to play the victim or whatever, I'm going to lose it. Like, this man is literally risking going home 1 episode from the final because he is convinced that Amber can't possibly complete it. He doubts her physical ability so much that he is willing to risk the chance to win $500,000 just so he can dump her and get the upgrade, which is Casey. I mean, yeah, I might cry too. And even through the tears and self-doubt, Amber says that she understands why he is choosing to do this. That she is a rookie and she has no hard feelings for him. And she wishes him and Casey the best at the final.
No one knows what I'm capable of yet, so no hard feelings. I understand. It is my first season here, and I'm learning.
He doesn't deserve her as a partner. Him and Casey definitely deserve each other. Now, I was really hoping that this would backfire on Fessy and he would end up going home. But of course, the elimination is a hall brawl and he not only sends Kyle home, but he breaks his finger in the process. This is the 3rd time that Fessy has caused physical injury to another player in these challenges. Watch my Tory Deal series if you guys want to know more about that, but he's just the worst. He plays dirty and he loves to throw his weight around. CT is another big guy, but I don't see him breaking bones every season, I'm just saying. Anyways, it's final time. And if anyone has upgraded partners, then it's Amber B with her new partner CT. Her strength is endurance, and she obviously isn't the best with math or puzzles, which is nothing against her, I mean, same. But guess who's a puzzle master? Guess who is unbelievably and freakishly amazing at doing anything to do with numbers or shapes? You guessed it, it's CT, and their matchup is a match made in heaven. Amber B is more motivated than ever to give this final her all. She's been through hell this season. The Big Brother Alliance used her and then stabbed her in the back. Then they actively conspired against her, and going into this final, they have already counted her out. So imagine their surprise when she wins the whole thing. She not only outran CT, a challenge legend, but she performed better at the eating competition than Fessy. And while Casey and her ideal partner, Fessy, would fight and argue the whole time, CT and Amber would cruise all the way to the end, to $450,000. And to think, if Fessy was halfway decent to her, that could have been his $450,000. Amber's performance is great from the moment TJ says go. She reaches the first checkpoint first, beating everyone. She and CT win the advantage at the following checkpoint, or actually she wins it, beating everyone else, which gives her the option to change partners, and she smartly chooses to stick with CT. And at this, Fessy has the nerve to say that he is relieved she didn't pick him. As if, like, sit down, you ain't shit. During the last stretch, Casey gets injured and is slowing Fessy down, which I'm sorry, I can't help but think that this is all karma. Anyways, him and Casey reach the eating portion last, and Fessy refuses to eat, and he essentially just gives up. Meanwhile, CT and Amber win the whole thing.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I just won this whole entire final. I'm so proud of myself. It has been an intense season.
$900,000 richer.
And in winning, Amber B didn't just win double agents. She won her first rookie season, and she became the first Big Brother player to win the challenge at the time. And Fessy has done 4 seasons currently, and guess what? He's never won anything. This has to be my favorite win on the challenge history. It felt so deserved. And when she won, I was legit just so happy for her. She went into this final with everyone doubting her, and she had so much to prove. She outperformed every single player and earned the prize money fair and square. At the reunion, Fessy continued to be awful. Apparently, no one can beat him in a physical elimination, and his game was ruined by his weak female partners, who, in his words, held him back. He also picks a fight with Devin and goes on to tell him that he's never gonna win anything, which jokes on him as Devin just won Ride or Dies. So, joke's on you, Fessy, everyone wins except you. Amber M, Gabby, and even Big T all express how they didn't like how Amber B played her game. Gabby once again alludes to Amber using what she refers to as emotional manipulation every time she cries, as a way for her, I guess, to get out of things. She even adds that Amber only cries when the cameras are present, which I don't know, I wasn't in that house, and if that's true, then that's really icky. But what's even more icky is saying that if it wasn't true. Like, let the girl cry. This was a whole lot to go through, and if Gabby was crying on camera, my first instincts wouldn't be to be like, oh god, there she goes, fake crying again. What is wrong with people? Amber M acts all aggressive and attacks Amber B for being a lying liar who lies a lot. And to that, Amber does apologize for the 3rd time apparently, but she also stands her ground, and yeah, she did lie once, but this is the challenge, everyone lies, like, get over it.
I apologize for the 3rd time on this stage for telling you I wouldn't vote for you, and I did. Like, I don't know what else you want from me.
Because you're a liar. You in the game. I played the game, and I'm happy I played the way I did. Good. Because I'm sitting pretty right now.
And then the words of Fessy.
She won the game, so she did something right.
Listen.
And that concludes Amber's rookie season on the challenge. But before ending this chapter and moving on to the next one, I'd like to leave you with some of my favorite tweets I found when researching this season of the challenge. Part 4. The champ is back. Amber would come back for the next season of the challenge known as Spies, Lies, and Allies as a replacement for another player who had to exit the game in the 2nd episode. And if you can believe it, this season would be even harder on Amber. And while she made her entrance in style and she was looking more stunning than ever, it's fair to say that no one was happy to see her. From the start, Fessy looks pissed, and I feel like his dislike for her comes from the fact that she made him look stupid last season. Josh, on the other hand, is really happy to have her as a partner. Having seen what she is capable of last season, he is completely sure of her, which is honestly such a nice change from her experience with Fessy. Amber begins this season feeling betrayed by the Big Brother alliance, naturally, but her feelings deepened when she watched the show air, and she saw firsthand how Fessy and Casey talked about her during their interviews, like when Fessy said that they carried her the whole game, and how she is acting all entitled and whatnot, and Casey saying that she doesn't trust her, and that that she doesn't even owe her anything. But despite all of this, when Casey approaches her once again to work as part of the Big Brother Alliance, Amber is quick to forgive and forget, and she even has a few good words to say about Fessy, saying that she has seen him change, and she wishes the best for him. Like, honestly, she's just too nice for this game.
I honestly feel like he's genuine right now. He has a good heart. He means well.
Sometimes I wish she was just a bit more meaner. Casey is still being two-faced though. She lures Amber into their alliance while still filming interviews behind her back, calling her untrustworthy, and she openly admits that Amber is at the bottom of their alliance.
I'm sure it's so weird for you to come in thinking that I don't have your back. Amber falls to the very bottom of this Big Brother alliance. I'm not going to tell you everything that I tell Fessy and Josh.
Watching this whole thing go down made me think, how is she the fake one here? Like, am I missing something? And it's so sad watching Amber do confessionals about how excited she is to work with the Big Brother Alliance, and especially Casey, who she still sees as a friend and an ally, and how she feels secure in the game because of her connections to Josh, Casey, and Fessy, which, as you probably guessed, will result into another messy situation later on, because God forbid someone actually likes Amber and wants to work with her. But for now, everything is going well, and Amber forms a connection with a rookie player named Jeremiah. The two flirt, and as the episodes go by, they form a real relationship, and Jeremiah seems to recognize Amber's genuine personality and of course her stunning look. The two have adorable scenes together, and when the house eventually turns on Amber, surprise, he sticks by her and she finds comfort and safety with him, which is really nice. Now at this point, it's important to point out that this season is being dominated by the vets. They all get together and form one strong alliance, and as a result, the rookies get picked out one by one, like literally every elimination a rookie goes home. But when Fessy and his partner Esther win a daily challenge, he decides to vote in Amber, completely blindsiding her, as she honestly thought they were all working together within the Big Brother Alliance. In doing so, he not only nominated his own alliance member, but he broke the code the vets were going by. Amber is literally the first vet to be voted in instead of a rookie, and no one seems to care about that. In fact, in the very next episode, rookies would be back at the chopping block. It's so frustrating to watch everyone either actively attack this woman for personal reasons or stand by and watch while someone else attacks her. Fessy voting in Amber and going against the Vet Alliance felt vindictive and malicious. He had no reason to throw her in, especially since Josh begged him not to. This whole thing leads to a huge fight at the nomination ceremony, and Josh is the only one that stands up for Amber, which I admit made me like Josh a little bit. I still don't like him, but just like a little bit more. Joke's on Fessy though, as Amber wins the elimination and all her ties to Big Brother are finally broken. She has the option to switch partners and she switches to Devon. Now naturally, after being betrayed again by people who she thought had her back, Amber feels sad and she cries. To this, Berna, who's a rookie from Survivor Turkish Edition, has a lot to say apparently.
Amber, we understood. You feel lonely, blah, 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 blah. Like, Amber, calm down.
Yeah, she is so fake. It's so sad.
Amber is walking around telling everyone how she got like blindsided last season, this season. It's like just too much, Amber.
Now keep in mind that Berna and these other rookies don't know Amber. They've never met her, and there's a whole season worth of history and trauma here. So where does Berna get off calling her fake and complaining about her feelings, whatever she's feeling? Like, Berna, sit down, who even are you? And it's not just Berna. Esther jumps on the Amber hate train as well. When the whole Pizzagate happens, which was instigated by Tori and Corey, I went through this fight in my Tori Deal series in details, if you guys are interested. I won't get into the details of it here because this video is already looking like it's gonna be a really long one. But anyways, when the argument over pizza happens, Esther throws water on Amber, which is honestly so disrespectful, and she makes a half-hearted apology to Amber afterwards, while still calling her fake in confessionals.
I've done that. Nobody deserves that. I'm sorry, Amber. I still think that you're a pretender and you're fake.
Amber stands up for herself, but she ultimately forgives her. This fight also gets Fessy sent home after he punches Josh, his own alliance member and friend, in the face for standing up for Amber, and the trend of everyone calling Amber manipulative for crying continues. Amber's and Berna's feud continues to grow, and honestly I don't get it. Amber hasn't done anything to her, in fact she barely even speaks to her, but Berna seems to have a personal issue with her that I can't honestly understand. And Amber finally stands up to Berna and puts her in her place.
I just don't like you. I let you
you speak, you're gonna come here, look me in the face and act like you haven't been rude to almost every person in this house.
Also, Berna, girl, is that you crying on the challenge? How manipulative of you. Berna goes in against Priscilla and she goes home, and I couldn't be happier, like, bye bish. At this point, Amber is truly and completely alone. The only person she has in the house is Jeremiah, and while she is technically part of the Vet Alliance, they don't really talk game to her, and they don't seem to like her at all. And this is proven when the Vet Alliance that has dominated the game so far implodes, and Amber and Jeremiah are the first casualties. They are nominated to go in against Corey and Bettina, and they unfortunately lose the elimination, which ends Amber's Spies journey on this season. And I can't even lie, I was almost relieved to see her go home. Watching her get treated this way every episode was starting to trigger me, especially by Berna and Esther, who didn't even know her. Like, where do you come off judging her when you just met her? At their reunion, Amber confronts Casey about her nasty interviews, which all happened behind Amber's back, and Casey initially denies it, before ending with, "I just don't trust you, I'll never trust you in this game." I was watching the reunion and thinking, but why? Why can't you trust her though? Like, why? When was she not loyal? She ruined her own game for y'all by voting in her friend Amber, and then you stabbed her in the back, and she still took you back the next season in a heartbeat, and was rooting for you all to win, only for you to backstab her again and say horrible things about her in interviews. Casey and Fessy both, like they literally used her when it was convenient for them, and then they just dump her, and then everyone is surprised when she is hurt and God forbid she cries.
Like, I'm so hurt, Casey. Like, I love you so much. Each confessional, each time you went in there was just bashing me and bashing me and bashing me. If you watch bashing, what's bashing you? Game. I just don't trust you. And I hope you see now how I played, that I did have your back, that I did have Fessy's back, that I did have Josh's back.
At the end, it comes down to jealousy for me. I feel like Casey and Fessy both lost double agents to Amber, and they hold that against her. I feel like they can't stand the fact that she won, and they didn't just lose, but they performed horribly. And worst of all, they spent the whole season thinking that they were the strongest competitors out there, and their win was all but guaranteed, only for karma and reality to come knocking them back in their place. But anyways, back to Amber. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Amber was asked about how she felt watching this season back and seeing how everyone talked about her behind her back. In response, she said, "That's the hardest part for me. I feel close to a lot of these people in the game. So for me, that was tough. That was extremely hard. I don't know. I don't want to get emotional. I go into the game, I care a lot, and I'm a little too naive sometimes. I trust what people say and just want the best for everyone, even if I'm not in the game. But just watching this season, knowing that some of the people that I want to see win, talking the way they did about me really hurts. Some people want to say it's hard trusting people in this, but I never gave anyone a reason not to trust me in the game, and I never have anything bad to say about anyone, because I'm not there to judge anyone or play my game that way, so I take it personal when I'm hearing those things, especially if someone's saying one thing to my face and doing another behind my back, and then calling me fake. You know what I mean? Isn't that fake? So that right there bothered me. I'm having a hard time with it. It's not something I deal with in my everyday life." The next question in the interview and her response honestly just broke my heart. The interviewer says to Amber, quote, "Especially after you saw the way Fessy and Casey treated you and talked about you behind your back last season, watching you get convinced into trusting them again, only for them to do the same thing this season was just heartbreaking." Unquote. Amber responded with, "I know, I believe people that I've played this game with. Like, since day one of me entering this whole challenge experience, Casey was the first one to be like, 'I got you, you're my goal, let's work together.' I got excited. I was like, I love Casey, I'm excited about the Big Brother Alliance. And just to know that I'm at the bottom of the barrel and just somebody to help them get through the game to where they need to go until they can toss me aside, that's hurtful. Because I don't think that way. If anything, I'm doing things that I want to do to make sure they make it far. I'm voting whichever way they want me to vote, or I'm playing the game the way they want me to play, just so that they can make it to the end with me, you know?" She continued with, "But I feel naive. I trust people too easily and I care too much. It's crazy. Coming into this season, I really had to find my voice in a house full of bullies and haters. I was a lone wolf. I was by myself. I feel like every episode, one more person just keeps jumping on the hate train, the Amber hate train. Here's what also bothers me. If a guy was to do something like that, no one would say anything about it. But because it's me, everyone is saying something about it. I've seen Josh cry. Does she say anything about him? But she'd be like, it's Josh. I've got Josh. I love Josh. But I do something or I cry or get upset, then I'm playing the victim or this or that. And that's the whole house. You look at even like the Berna situation or the other girls, like Ashley cried this season, Berna cried this season, Nani cried this season, Casey cried this season, Josh has cried this season. All these people have cried and I sit here and I'm upset because I have the whole house against me. I'm being bullied 24/7 and then I'm playing the victim? I just don't get how these people think. I don't understand them, honestly.
You know, I think what bothered me is everyone was so against throwing vets in. It's just like, don't do it, blah, blah, blah. When my name was being said, no one really cared. It bothers me because I've never given any of them a reason not to trust me, but they've given me several reasons not to trust them. So it's like them saying over and over again, I don't know if I can trust her. It's like, where is that coming from? You know, that's what I don't get. Where is this coming from? Because I've never given you a reason not to trust me. And I think that's what hurts.
At the end, while Amber didn't win this season of the challenge, she did win the fans over. I was hoping to make this deep dive into one video, as I honestly didn't think I'd have much to say about Amber's journey on the challenge, or even on Big Brother. I knew that I liked her and I was happy for her when she won, but there was so much to go through and I was shocked at how angry I got while writing my thoughts on her seasons. I can't wrap my head around the whole fake and untrustworthy thing that followed her in nearly all of her seasons, even on Big Brother. And in part 2, I want to say that things get better for Amber, but unfortunately they don't. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss part 2 of this series.